Hi.
This is fun.
This is fun. This is incredible. So welcome. I'm delighted to introduce to you three remarkable artists that I have been admiring and following for a few years now.
And I'm a jeweler, and I predominantly work with glass. So I blow shapes out of different types of very thin or thick hollow glass tubes. So this is how my work starts.
I've been making things for 25 years this year, actually. And I make in two ways. I love to make one-off pieces, but I also like to repeat some things I like making so much that I want to make again. But I like to use repeated elements, generally cubes, and I like to articulate them. So all of these revolve or wiggle. So every piece of my work has some form of articulation. My workshop's in the countryside, and I've got these enormous sycamore trees outside my workshop, and each leaf is the same shape, but each one is ever so slightly different, and they all have a little flutter. And I just thought what I'm trying to do with my work is just to capture something of that. It's very restful when you see something that's the same shape.
I'm not a jeweler, I'm a textile artist, and I use lots of different threads, lots of different thicknesses, not everything's fine, lots of beads.
Amazing. So tell me, you started the collective Lot about 2 years ago. I think it's your second season.
Yes.
Explain to us how it came about, but first explain to us what the name means.
Well, we decided to call it Lot because we were looking at really just how sort of museum pieces are catalogued, and how items can be sort of unique in the way that they're listed and the way that we decided to title our work. So and the titles of all our pieces reflect the museum cataloguing system. Each piece is starts with Lot. These pieces, these 6 brooches we've just been exhibiting. So it starts as Lot 2, and then the date of the exhibition that they were just shown in, followed by our initials in the order that we made this work, followed by the number of colours. This project was primarily based on colour, the theme of colour. So we each counted exactly how many colours we used in each piece, catalogued that, and ending with BR, which means brooch.
And because we wanted to stay friends, we decided we would do an add-on kind of exquisite corpse type collaboration rather than trying to design together. I think it was that we wanted to work together in a side-by-side way.
Basically, we each started a piece on the same day, and then 10 days later we posted the piece to the next person. We decided which way round we were going to go. So
why don't you take one brooch, show us one of the brooches, and tell us how that...
I'm the keeper of the brooches at the moment. So I can show you, for example, this one. Okay, so Sarah began this piece. So she made this lovely brass circle with this chain waterfall hanging from it, and this section here of silver with her little ruffled squares that she was explaining about along the edge there. So this is all one piece. And then 10 days later, she sent it to Beatrice, and Beatrice opened it up and she saw that, and then she added her embroidery here, all these beautiful embroidered lines using tiny little square beads to reflect Sarah's silver beads. And then 10 days later it came to me, and I added these glass curves.
So it's important to say that you don't know what's arriving in the post. When you open the box, you have no idea what's in there, and then you look at it and you have to...
Exactly. So we have no idea what's coming, and there is no conversation between us during the process. Yes. So this one, for example, so I started this one, and I made the silver frame and all the glass pieces that were fixed onto the frame, and then I sent it to Sarah. Sarah took the notion of the shadow that mine would have created and made the shadow in silver and oxidized it so it's now black, and then added her little moving pieces. This silver piece here was just plain, and she added her lovely little silver disc there with the little moving pieces with 3 little rubies in there as well. And then it went to Beatrice, and Beatrice built this beautiful beaded surface that sat behind, and then we decided together that we would set it in a circular frame.
But it requires that really deep trust. Tell us a little bit about that.
It has a huge trust, and I think the fact that I think it works because we do trust each other so much, and we've also known each other for between 10 and 20 years. You have to have a completely open mind when you open the box, and you can't have a preconceived idea of, oh, I'm going to do whatever. You've got to just open it and then respond, which actually is both amazing and very freeing, and also incredibly intimidating at the same time.
The moment where you guys opened the box and said, ugh, no. I don't like that. No?
No.
I didn't go, but when I went last, it was the most difficult for me, because I would look at it and think, it's a beautiful piece of jewellery now. I'm just going to ruin it or add some awful bit of textile to it.
So it's very hard to earn a living doing this, but it's something that it's a kind of needs must. You know?
I'm a maker, and I want to be at the bench and make exclusive and hopefully finely wrought objects for people to love and to wear.
What would make a huge difference? What is it that we could do to make a big difference in your practice?
Well, it's pretty much what you're doing now, actually. I would say this is really been very lovely. Thank you. And also the way you bring people to see us, the way you introduce people to our practices, it's really very special.
Thank you so very much. I can't tell you how touched I am that you all signed on, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next week on Wednesday.